Welcome back to the Capture Your Confidence podcast. We are talking today about having the confidence to let yourself evolve without explaining it.
This is, I don't want to say this is a fight of my life, but I think this hits extra hard for someone who has a not an audience, but like there are people that are watching what you're doing, and there's this like feeling of needing to explain when pivots happen.
Yes.
When it's no one's business.
I know. I mean, I think it's the evolution is not necessarily the hard part. The hard part is not explaining it and not feeling compelled to explain it.
It's easier for me now. I think there was a really long time actually that I put off evolution because I didn't want to have to explain it. Like I avoided changing in the direction I knew I needed to and wanted to change
because of people's perceptions and me feeling like I owed it to them or I had to explain, when now I know I don't have to do that at all, and I can just share whatever it is that I choose, and it could be nothing, and that's okay too.
Yeah. I mean, I think that fear of what people think can really impact us living our own lives.
Unfortunately, even women who are confident, I think there is some level of this, and unfortunately the environment that we're in right now with just everyone's access to so much information and them being able to watch every single component of your life or however much it is that you share, it does reinforce the message that you have to explain what's going on when you want to change things.
Yeah. And I think to some extent we all feel some loyalty to a past version of ourselves, or this idea that I'm giving up on something if I'm changing. Like I didn't see it all the way through because now I have a different thought process on this, or I'm pivoting my career, or I'm pivoting, whatever. That it makes it hard because we are conditioned to never quit. Right. Mm-hmm. And this looks like a failure. This looks like quitting.
And ultimately underneath all of this is like the worry of what they're going to think or say, right? Like, are they going to think I failed at that one thing, so now I'm doing this thing? Are they going to think like, who the hell does she think she is? Are they going to talk about me behind my back at their dinner, whatever? Are they going to make fun? There's, unfortunately that is the narrative, and whether or not women want to be honest and admit it, it's the truth. There's some version of that happening inside for most women, even if it's quiet, even if it's not that big of a deal.
Yeah. And this notion, we've talked about this before, that your own growth could cause someone else discomfort. Right? That it's going to mess with other people.
Cause someone else discomfort.
Yeah.
And I would argue that if it's not, you're probably not playing very large with your life, because if no move that you've ever made has like created friction with someone else, wow. Yeah. Way to play Monopoly without landing on anyone else's house, babe. I don't know how you did that.
Yes. So, okay, what does it look like if we're going to like let ourselves evolve and grow?
I can give you an example of what this has looked like in my own like professional career. So for me, I've built multiple businesses online, and people have seen various levels of that. Like in the beginning, they saw every nook and cranny of that. And then in the middle, they saw quite a lot of it, but maybe not all the hard parts, just a lot of the good parts. And now they don't see much of it at all, because I have learned that adding the additional pressure of an arena while I am mastering so much is not a gauntlet that A, is required, and B, is in the best interest of me as a human.
Yeah.
As a human. And I think in the past iterations of business, I've sacrificed what was in the best interest of me as the human in order for growth. And I'm unwilling to do that at this current juncture in my life.
Yeah. And now, you just get to experience growth in a different way.
Totally.
Right.
And so it's not that people don't see what I'm doing. They are seeing what I'm doing in such a limited capacity without expectation of, how much I'm showing. And I think for people who have businesses that are similar, it can feel really scary and really hard to
stop showing so much, because are they going to go away? Mm-hmm. Are they going to stop working with you, knowing what you're doing? I'll be honest with you. They might.
Yeah.
They might. Because you just might not be in front of them anymore. And it's a numbers game. There's a reason why it works that way.
Yeah.
But you got to be okay with that if you're valuing your own like mental health and your own personal sanity more.
Yes. And I will say for me, evolution has looked like prioritizing differently. Now the buckets are very clear. Like if you are not family related, close friend related, re-entry related,
you're not happening.
Right? It's podcast related. Like, I mean, there's just so fewer buckets. I used to be on all the boards in town. I used to think that if I got on these other boards, like I will have made it. Like in my mind, I was like, oh, I'm not on this board yet, but I will be one day. And then funny enough, you get to a place where people are calling you to be on the boards, and then your internal priorities have shifted. And now that's not a thing I want to do anymore. And so that has been very fascinating. At first, it was very hard to say no. It felt like, oh my gosh, like I worked for this and now it's here. And now I don't want to give up the time that's required to do this thing anymore. So that has been a big one. And I think I think both of these are common ones. Like this is how we evolve and grow, and then we set new boundaries, right? One of my favorite activities.
The queen of it.
And so we evolve like in all of these different ways. And then we also have to pay attention to our nervous system as we are evolving.
Yeah, I think part of the reason why I was so like this last big transition, I did it so in quiet.
Yeah.
Like I literally was just like, nope, not for anyone but me. And I think the reason that I did that is because I had to do so much confidence work behind the scenes in rewiring the story and the narrative that I was expecting to happen. So, for example, when I went from the coaching space to owning an agency where we did that work for other companies, I kept thinking, will they think that she's not successful in her coaching business because she's now helping other people in their business do it? Like other people are now hiring her as a part of their team. She's not the face any longer. Yeah. So there was like this ego thing that I had to really rewrite, like my worth and my value as not being any less because we were doing the work, not telling people how to do it. Do you get what I'm saying? And I couldn't do that in front of you. I couldn't do that with you watching me learn how to rewrite how I saw myself.
Yeah.
So I didn't give you an opportunity to watch it because I knew that I had to do that for myself so that when I was here, I could confidently talk about the work that I was doing, knowing that it was of just as high value, if not more high value than it was whenever I was coaching, right? So there's so much work that has to be done. And we talk about when you're using the experiences that you've gone through, not sharing scabs, sharing scars. Like don't start showing what you're going through until you're at a healed enough place where it doesn't seem like, ooh, is she okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think, you teach yourself how to like manage that discomfort and how to manage other people's reactions or manage your response to other people's reactions. And gosh, that's such a useful skill way outside of this arena,
And so if you notice you're evolving and you're not sure how to show up in the world or you're feeling a lot of like stress or anxiety, I would tell you that your choice to not explain this to other people is critical. And I would go inward. I would rewrite that narrative, regulate your nervous system, do what you have to do, and do not do it with an audience until you're at a place where you can warrant, you can weather whether or not they say things about you. Because at the time,
if I was questioning myself, if I was saying, God, does this mean I'm not as good as I was because I'm going in this direction or whatever? And then someone else had said it, that would have, wrecked my progress. So you can't give them a microphone when your audio is playing as loud as it is. You have to really work on that one first.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's why, I think the crux of this is like without explaining it.
Yes.
Right? Like you don't have to share. And when you stop sharing and you stop explaining, we get right back to the self-trust that we've been talking about. Like that's how you get there.
It's like, when's the last time that someone said no to you without an explanation and your immediate was like, dang. Because you're like waiting for the next half of the sentence and it's literally never coming and you're like, holy shit, she just said no.
I know.
And there was no other I'm like, wow. So if you can figure out how to do that for yourself, to be able to like say no and then not give the explanation or whatever the example is in your life, like I'm this with no explanation. Oh, okay.
Right?
Honey.
I mean, you've arrived.
Yeah.
And you give yourself permission to evolve. You just like have the freedom to be yourself and grow as you want to grow.
Mm-hmm. And everybody deserves that, right?
Yeah.
Just because we live in a world with unlimited access doesn't mean that you have to participate or contribute to that unlimited access. And I tell you that as someone who's in the arena and in the industry where people are sharing their lives. So if you feel that you have a shift coming in your life, you do not owe anyone any explanation other than yourself.
We are rooting for you. We hope you evolve without explanation. Bye.
Deuces.